All right. Since I'm live, you guys can hear me. Please let me know when we will get this started. I do appreciate the 160 of you waiting here. Hopefully we can all have a fantastic day at Richmond. I know it's not the most exciting track in the world, but that's fine for DFS. I hope it's more of a boring race with some long green flag runs because tend to be a little bit more projectable. But looking forward to the race, and this is one of the weeks where I think it's so spread out. Like, I feel like recently we've had a lot of guys that are just complete standout plays, but this week it seems like there's just so many guys that are so close to each other, especially in projections and ownership. It's just like lots of ways we can go. So we'll see how it plays out, but I am looking forward to breaking this one down with you all. And if you have any questions, I'm more than happy to answer them all. And let me get this set up. Okay, I guess we're good. Someone said, "Hey, Daddy," so I'm just going to assume that means we are loud and clear. All right, I'm going to scroll to the top here. We'll go top to bottom and go from there. I got a donut from my man Chris Jenkins, though. Always appreciate that. It says, as bad as Bell practiced in the fast group, is he still a safe play? That's one thing we all should know for this weekend, is that there's a faster group in practice and there's a slower group. If you were in the first group, your practice times were just so much faster than everybody else. So keep that in mind when you're looking at practice this weekend. You're going to have to stagger that. But as for Bell, yeah, his numbers looked slow overall, but you do have to keep in mind, I believe he went out early, then he came back out late to do his longer runs. So I wouldn't be too concerned with his overall speed. He should have a fast car. And JGR and just Toyotas tend to run very well here at Richmond. I mean, if you think of all the drivers at JGR, we're talking Truex, Hamlin, Kyle Busch back in the day, and Christopher Bell. All these guys absolutely crush here at Richmond, so I don't see a reason why we should be too concerned about Christopher Bell. And I believe he's been in like the past 4 optimal lineups here, and with him starting in nearly 30th, hard to ignore. Now, if you are rostering Christopher Bell today, which I'm assuming a lot of you are, you have to have an early dominator with him because he's not going to get those early dominator points. And for a 400 lap race, if you're just going to play place differential, maybe it's a decent way to min cash, but you're not going to take down a tournament. So if you're rostering Christopher Bell, make sure you get a guy like, say, Denny Hamlin in there with him, or William Byron, Tyler Reddick, something like that. But do appreciate the dono, sir. What's up, Jay Swift? First one in here says, came in second on the truck series for $400. Let's go for 2 today. Awesome, Jay Swift. Hopefully you can do that again. I just been playing prize picks for the trucks, and I've been liking it. I thought the race was good. Ty Majeski stayed out for some reason. I'm not sure what that was all about. I think he by far had the best truck, but for some reason he stayed out. Then Hosefar got him at the end with fresher tires. Shaquem says, I'd be close, but drivers always wreck in these types of races. I would say Richmond's not really one I'd expect a wreck fest from. This tends to be more of a boring race with some longer green flag runs, so I mean, I'm sure at some point someone's going to wreck. It's just about to be impossible for there to be no wrecks, but I'd say this one should be more tame for sure. Mitch says, come on, Chris, we were waiting. I saw a couple of you were in there like at 11 a.m. today. I'm like, you guys are 2 hours early. What's up, Spress? Leave a like on the way. Best way to support Christopher Allen Pennell. That's right. Went full name on me. From now on at C Pickles, yeah, I've been playing a lot of pickleball. It's my new obsession. I'll be playing later today as well. Tommy Bahama, NASCAR DFS. What's up, Justin? Last 2 guys you're comfortable with for GPP, still Jones and Dinger? Yes, I mean, for GPPs, though, they'll be very chalky, but I do like Jones and Dinger today. I mean, Dinger can suck, and he can still get like 25th, and that's fine for DFS purposes. I think I actually have him projected for, what do I have him at? I have him for a 25.77 projected finish. That is 29.13 points, and that equates to a 4.7x value. So, like, is it amazing? No, but will it get the job done? Yeah, I guess. And there's room for improvement, too. Got a donut from Pugsley here. Says, I have 2 lineups. Larson, Hamlin, Byron. Amarola, McDowell, LaJoy. Or Larson, Byron, Joey, Amarola, Priest, and LaJoy. Which one do you like more? So the cheap plays are the same, I think. Besides Priest and McDowell. I would probably have to say the first one. Man, I like both, but I think the first one just looks a little bit more appealing. Ryan Priest is a tougher to get to. I know I kind of talked him up a little bit in the video, but once I ran my numbers, I was like, well, he's just not really popping much, so. What's up, Mom? Says, have a great day. Happy race day, NASCAR fam. Let's get it, Logano. Good luck, everyone. This is a good track for Joey, Mom, so this one of those chances where he could definitely pull out the win. I do like him for DFS today. I got him projected for just under 50, so starting all the way back in 23rd. This has been a really good track for him, but thank you for stopping in. Favorite FanDuel plays, it's pretty much the same as the favorite DK plays. There's a lot of overlap. Christopher Bell obviously grades out very well on FanDuel. He's only $12,000. And with Dominator points not mattering too much, I mean, he's pretty much the top play over there. But, I mean, Harvick, Byron, Logano, Blaney, it's pretty much the same guys we like over on DK. A lot of overlap every week over there. No, definitely would not be early. My mom knows that. Always got to run late. What's up, Rick? Hello, race family. Hope we all have a great day. Let's do it. I think a lot of us probably had some pretty good weeks last week, so hopefully we can run that back. And got to give a shout out to my man Denny Hamlin for pulling out the W. I know, very controversial win. I'm sure a lot of you didn't enjoy it, but I am a Denny Hamlin fan. I know there's not many of us out there these days, but it was nice to see the dub, especially when you're holding the ticket for him to win. It might be a little bit biased there, but it was fun to watch. That last week's race was really good. Pope says, Chris in the makeup chair, let's get it. Degenerates, yeah, you got to get the makeup and hair ready. Always do. Chris says, cash lineup, I'm going with Hamlin, Byron, and Blaney to start. Which last three you like for cash? Busher, Almirola, LaJoy, or Busher, Dinger, McDowell? I would probably have to say Busher, Almirola, LaJoy. I like Busher a lot today. I love Eric Almirola. And LaJoy is just your last piece fit. I think he's a little bit safer than McDowell in cash games, so I think the first one is what I'll have to go with. Geb says CPEN will be announcing the merger with Cruz today. Let's all congratulate Chris. Which I gotta give a shout out to Brandon. He had a great live stream today, an absolute masterclass. I thought it was funny, and I got a nice shout out too. So I appreciate that. I thought it was a fun stream to watch. So if you are watching, thank you for the entertainment this morning. Isaiah says, my highest projected lineup today is Bell, Truex, Blaney, Suarez, and Almirola. My safe play is Byron, Hamlin, Harvick, Keselowski, and Cindric. How do these lineups look? I think that's fine. I mean, you have the two big dogs, Bell and Truex in the first one. You have Blaney that offers you a place differential. Suarez with PD. Almirola was fast. He's got PD, so I think that's a good lineup. The second one, a little bit more contrarian with Keselowski in there. And Byron, I think, is a good tournament target, but I mean, both look pretty good to me. Although I think those are FanDuel lineups because I only see 5. But I do like them both. Chris says, love Cruz, but doesn't love cash games. Let's see. Thoughts on Busher? I like Busher today. He's had some decent runs at Richmond, and I think RFK will have some speed. I think Brad will be pretty solid today. If you're looking at Busher in practice, I believe he was in the quicker group, if I remember correctly. Yeah, he had to be because I'm looking at P3, P3, P2, P2 in the lap data, which I think he'll be fast today. He's not going to be a top 5 car, but starting in 26, he should be a top 15 contender. So starting in 26 at that price point, I do like him. He's pretty much in the optimal for me, about the same as Daniel Suarez, and I think Suarez will have a little bit more ownership, so I do like the pivot to Busher if it came down to a 1v1 there if it's a tournament. No, I am not, Justin. I am not. Does Truex take the checkered flag? Well, let's see. My projections have Truex winning. So my top 3 is Truex, Hamlin, and Kevin Harvick, and then Byron Larson. So take it for what you will. Now, I am not betting Truex at his current price. I think I saw him at like 380 on DraftKings. That's awful. I have 2 bets to win this week, and it's like 0.6 units on Harvick at plus 900. Feel good about that bet. I thought he looked amazing in practice. Might have the best car in the field considering he was in that second group and how good he looked. I think he's at 550 now, so I feel good about that number. Then I took Bell this morning at 1600 on FanDuel because I believe he was 900 on DK and then 1100 on Barstool, so I thought we got some decent value there. I know he's starting deep in the pack, but I mean, I think Bell should be fine. So those are the 2 guys I got. They're not my projected winners, but I like the numbers I got. Jerry says, Chris, can you please explain what's up with the weird practice speeds this week? It's just simple fact that the guys that run the track first were just much faster, and then there's the track worn out. Or there's as many guys later in the run in practice. I mean, it's just going to get slower. So second group got screwed, and then Denny Hamlin, he was in the first group, but he went out late, so his numbers suck if you're just looking at that. But he got better in the long run once, he's putting down some laps. So when you're looking at practice, you definitely have to stagger it because, I mean, obviously JJ Yaley is not faster than Kevin Harvick. I'm pulling up the lap data here, so lap by lap. So I'm currently seeing JJ Yaley, Ryan Newman, Ty Dillon, all faster than guys like Denny Hamlin, Joey Logano. So if that doesn't tell you that just looking at practice blindly this week is a waste of time, I mean, obviously they're not fast. Like, so just make sure you stagger practice this week. And if you are staggering, the best cards in Group 2, Kevin Harvick. We can kind of throw Denny Hamlin in Group 2. I think that makes the most sense. So Kevin Harvick, Denny Hamlin, Logano, those are the guys that definitely looked really good. What's up, Mundo? Says, what's your top DOMs for today? I think my Sims liked... Top DOMs, according to Sims, would be Martin Truex Jr. at 25% with some decimal points. Denny Hamlin at 24%, William Byron at 17%, Reddick at 9%, and then Larson at 6.5%. So those are my projected potential top dominators today, which I feel like most would be the same. Truex, Hamlin, Byron. I think those are probably your top threats. Tyler Reddick, he's a wild card today because, I mean, if he holds the lead for stage 1, that's a lot of dominator points, but I don't think he's got the best car. But having the best pit stall and just having clean air start the race, it can definitely work out. Although, I mean, he's going to have Denny Hamlin right behind him, Kyle Busch, which I don't really like Kyle Busch today, but you can't completely rule it out that he dominates. But I am lower on him for sure. Scott says, what's a good core for cash today? I think the 3 guys you'd want to start with in cash today, probably Christopher Bell, probably AJ Allmendinger. And then I like Almirola for cash. I mean, some people might say Dylan Suarez, which that's fine, but I do like Eric Almirola a lot. I love him at short flats, and obviously had a ton of speed. Top 3 plays below 7K as Dimitri. Below 7K, I like Eric Jones, I like Allmendinger, and then probably Cindric. Gross, I know, but he's really cheap. He's 30th and 30th. Doesn't have to do too much. What's up, Albert? Adam says, any of these head-to-heads that you like today? Byron Harvick, Truex Bell, Elliott Busch, Larson Hamlin, Keselowski Reddick. That's a lot. I did not bet any head-to-heads. I think the one that looked the most interesting to me was Elliott and Busch. Me and Sean, who we always talk in Discord about doing bets throughout the week, I think he hit Elliott at even odds over Kyle Busch, but I think that got better because I think Elliott's now plus 115, if I remember correctly. So yeah, you can get Elliott plus 115 versus Busch. He's minus 150. I'm not really sure what Kyle Busch did to be minus 150 versus Elliott besides qualify 2 spots higher. Because I realize Elliott's not been like a top dog since returning, and I don't think he wins this race, but Kyle Busch, I mean, outside of Gateway, at the short flats, RCR has really not been that good. So I don't mind taking a plus 115 on Elliott there. Although I'm telling you, I personally did not bet that. I didn't bet any head-to-heads this weekend, but that is the one that's most enticing for me, especially since the odds got even better. Noah Gregson takes the checkered flag today. Oh my. I think the sun would fall out of the sky before that ever happens. James says, morning, who do you like from 4,700 to 6,900? 2 or 3 drivers from 47 to 69. So basically below 7K. Well, I just answered that one. So it was like Jones, Stinger, Cindric. Whereas Chris, fast me late as always. You know how it is, Earl. I'm assuming that's Earl. Pope says, pickleball has taken over priority. I do love pickleball. It is so fun. It really is. I've become addicted. Last minute inspections on his hair. Pretty much. Still had the bedhead going. Thoughts on cash build CP, says Dakota. Not loving cash this week. Like, there's not a ton of obvious plays, which is kind of good because it just sucks when it's a big 1v1, but it's definitely not an obvious week in my opinion. I do think there is a chalky lineup that a lot of people will play, and I think it's something like Truex Bell with Almirola, Dinger, and you could probably figure out the last 2. I think that might be the most popular way to go. I'm just trying to decide what people are going to do with Reddick, because currently for me, I don't have him projected to be like mega chalk today. Maybe I'm missing the boat on that, but I just don't really see him dominating the whole race. And there's definitely downsides starting him first. Geb says, optimal messy hair today. I tried. Hoping it's optimal, at least somewhat close. What's up, Jake? Something like that. Juan said, Larson for the win. Do you think Truex or Larson if you had to bet the house on it? I cannot bet them at their current prices. Like, yes, I have it projected that Truex wins, but that does not mean we have to bet it, you know. It's just the odds aren't there for me. Because I have Truex at It's just math. I don't have any biased takes. I'm just looking at the numbers, and I'm telling you what I see according to my stuff. I have Truex at a 16.1% chance to win today. That's the best of all drivers for me. I mean, that's just with the standard deviation that I'm using. I mean, it could be different for anybody. But I like to add in some variance because we all know what can happen with late-minute cautions and stuff like that. So 16.1% chance for Truex to win today for me. Vegas has him at a 20.8% chance to win. So just the numbers don't line up for me. Like, yes, I think Truex wins, but that does not mean I'm betting it. So that makes sense. And for Larson, I have him at an 8.2% chance to win. Vegas has him at 10.5%. Still just negative leverage, so I can't do it. Do have positive leverage on Denny though right now at 650. I don't mind that. And then Harvick's dead even at 600. But if you're forcing me to pick, I would say Truex over Larson. Ewok says, is it true that NASCAR is intentionally keeping Josh Bilicki from racing because they are scared he will win every race? I think so. It's kind of like a 2021 Larson situation where they just don't want it happening again because it can get repetitive, so that might be the case. Timothy says, we'd love a small segment on your cash/floor play thoughts. I mean, basically, I know I mentioned this a couple times, but in case you missed it, I think if you're playing cash today, you're probably starting with Bell. I mean, he's just offering you the best floor. He's got a pretty high ceiling as well. I mean, he could certainly get up front at some point, obviously not till later, but he could do it. You just kind of have to hope he doesn't get lapped early on, just in case he just somehow just sucked really bad and just gets stuck. That'd be unfortunate. But assuming that does not happen, I would say Bell. And then Almirola and Dinger is probably where I'm starting. I just think they make the most sense for cash games, and they're popping up quite a bit for me. So Kyle says, if I buy the NASCAR package today, will I have to pay for next week? I don't know. You mean like the free trial? It's just a free trial, so it'll end whenever. I mean, you can just choose to pay if you want to at the end or not. Anderson Silva checking in from Discord. I was 1 minute off. Oh, well, nice to have you, sir. I didn't know your name was Kyle. I keep thinking your name is Andy because that's what I call you for some reason. So I'm just going to keep calling you Andy, though. It makes more sense to me. Matthew says, if Stenhouse finishes, say, 7th, would that be good enough to be in the optimal lineup? Well, it's not just dependent on that. It would depend on what the other drivers do around his price point. But if he finishes 7th, that puts him at, what, how many points? Puts him at 39. Maybe he gets some fast laps here and there. If that's the case. So 39 points. Maybe give him like 40-ish. He is 6,500. It would depend what Eric Jones does. Depend on what Allmendinger does. So it's dependent on those two. It's not just one factor. So you kind of have to hope they bust as well. You'd definitely be low owned though. And if Stenhouse finishes 7th, you're going to have some good lineups. Nick says, I'm pulling for Kyle Busch, but I'm nervous. Well, I can't say I am, so I would wish you luck, but I'd be wishing some bad luck on myself, so we'll just stay neutral on that. I don't know, I just don't see it. Like, I know he qualified well, but I just don't think he's going to run better and dominate. Like, that's outside some of these other guys. His RCR just really hasn't been amazing at the short flats. Now, it's totally possible that Reddick just screws up at the very beginning and Kyle Busch takes off, but then again, you still have Denny Hamlin right behind him too, and then even Chase Elliott. So, what's up, Hunter? This is Christopher giving some German support here. Well, thank you for all the way back from Germany. Hopefully, I forget what I was going to say. Well, I don't remember, but either way, hopefully you're having a good time over in Germany, although I think your time's coming soon. I think you only have, 2 more weeks over there, so hopefully you'll enjoy your legal drinking until then. Because I know you definitely won't when you come back in the States. Of course not. Rick says, my top place for starting lineups, Truex, Hamlin, and Byron. I'm fine with that. I think a lot of people would do that. Pretty much the top dogs across the board, although, I mean, Byron's kind of probably in that second tier, although Truex Hamlin, I think, is pretty much everyone's top dog today. Jimmy says, what ranges do I want my Dominator from? What do you mean? Like starting position? It's just really guys that have the potential to dominate. So like Truex, Larson, Hamlin, Busch. You could even throw Bell in if you want, Harvick, Byron. But I'm not sure what you mean by range. It's basically everybody Reddick and above that could be a potential Dominator, really. put them in the group and set it to at least 2, I think you're probably sitting pretty. Robert says, what's up, Chris? Big thank you. I split the 100K last week. That's awesome, Robert. How many people did you split with? It's still a good payout either way, so congratulations. Munda says, with 2 DOMs and 4 PD drivers being an optimal approach? Could be. I mean, there's not like an absolute set criteria this week for building lineups, but I definitely think it's possible. I'm sure a lot of people will do that because if you played, say, Denny Hamlin, William Byron today, they're starting 3-6, you could easily just fill in a bunch of place differential plays and it could work out. So I think that's fine. Bob G, hey Chris, who is the best pick to win at the current odds? Thanks as always. I know I'm behind, so I probably answered you, but right now for me, Hamlin has a little bit of leverage at 650, and then Harvick's dead even at 0. Although Bell at 1,600 on FanDuel, if he is still that, I'm not sure if that's still there. Let me check. Okay, so he's not 1,600 anymore. He's at 1,100. So yeah, basically Hamlin at 650 if you can get that still, and then Harvick at 600. Although the lines have changed a little bit. Harvick's now at 650, so that's got a little bit of value as well. So Hamlin and Harvick, about all we got left. So not much meat on the bone anymore. Hunter says, Chris, when I get back, we are getting our haircut together. I mean, we got to fix the 4 on the sides. I mean, never again. I tried to warn you, but, you know, lesson learned. Although I bought some hair clippers, so I'm gonna try to potentially give myself a haircut later and see how that goes. If it's bad, I'll have a hat on next week. So if you see me wearing a hat, that's what happened. But I'm going to experiment with it. I'm probably going to have Juliana cut my hair, though. So we'll see what happens. But yes, we definitely have to get you in a barbershop. Darren says, Bell and Cash will go for 3rd Dominator. I think he had to have Bell and Cash today. Because if he crushes, you're just going to be way behind. And if he sucks and he's mediocre, it's like, whatever. He's not going to finish 29th unless he wrecks. Unless he wrecks or has an issue or penalties. But if he's clean, even a mediocre day, like say 14th, that'll get the job done in Cash. You don't need much. What's up, Bonnie? Says, happy race day. Hey, Chris. Thoughts on Cindric compared to the other PD plays? I do like Cindric today solely from place differential and starting position or salary standpoint. Like, he's $5,100. He's 30th. I know he sucks. He's not very good. He's been awful all year. But if he just finishes like 27th, like, it's okay, I guess. Just because you can't think of him as like a 6 or 7K driver. Like, he is compared to guys like Harrison Burton, Corey LaJoie, Michael McDowell these days. I believe I have him projected to finish. I have him around 25th. So if he can just finish around there, we're talking 25 points. That's like 4.5x. It's just about. So it's not bad. Got it done from my man Rick, which got to give a shout out to Rick last week. I think he pulled in a couple grand if I remember correctly. So had a great week. Thanks for EGUCP. Helped me 8x my money last week, 18x my money last weekend. Any Fords with a chance today? Appreciate the donor, Rick. And yeah, Ford's got a chance. I mean, Kevin Harvick, Eric Almirola, Ryan Preece. Well, not Ryan Preece. I meant to say Ryan Blaney. Joey Logano. I mean, these guys can definitely run well today. Chase Briscoe. If you mean to win, Kevin Harvick's the only one I think's got a chance to win. Maybe Joey Logano, but yeah, Fords definitely have a chance. I mean, short flat tracks are better for them compared to the intermediates where you need more raw speed. They just tend to lack a little bit there. What are your 3 favorite sub 7K plays? I think I answered that one. Anders says, big thanks to Chris for last week. Took down the $12 single entry for $2,000. That's awesome, Andrew. Congratulations. I thought people had a pretty good week last week, so nice to hear that for sure. Austin Dillon seems to do well here. What are your thoughts on him today? Thanks, man. No problem, race fan. Yeah, he does tend to do well here. He's actually not bad at the high tire wear tracks. I've noticed that because I think at Darlington he had a decent average finish. What was the other one I'm thinking about? There was another high tire wear track that I think Austin Dillon was at Homestead. It might have been Homestead. I don't remember. But there's really not that many anymore since they got rid of Atlanta. But if you're looking at Austin Dillon's numbers past few years here, 12.7 average finish, 3 top 10s, 4 top 15s. You could probably do worse than Austin Dillon. The problem is, though, I don't really like where he's priced, like the guys he's around, because I'd rather get the Eric Jones starting in 27. I'd rather get the Briscoe. I'd rather get the Eric Almirola, Bush, or Suarez. So he's just a little bit tough to get to because of that. But he definitely has ran well. Chris says, is Reddick moving to the rear to damage? Not that I know of. The only one I saw, I believe, was AJ Allmendinger, which he's already in the rear anyway. Let me check Bobby's Twitter, though. Just in case. Because if Reddick went to the rear, that'd be... Yeah, it says, only driver going to the rear is Allmendinger since he didn't qualify the car. So I guess we're good. Although he did say teams are doing pre-race checks, so possible there could be others if they see something wrong during those checks, which they did say yesterday that Reddick had the potential for that. But, I mean, I don't think they really want to give up the pole, so I don't really imagine that'll happen. Thoughts on Yaley? He's fine if you need the punt down there, but that's really about it. Like, if I had to pick a punt play, he's probably my favorite. Gregson, because no one will play him. I have Gregson projected for negative points today, so I'm not playing him personally. Power to you if you can stomach it, but I just don't see how it works out. Like, he's starting in 12th. If you're looking at his short flat numbers, average finish of 30.5, running position of 26.3. If he just gets his average running position today, that would be how many points for Mr. Gregson? 26.3. That's about 1 point. I just can't do it. I don't see how it works. Any odds to win that you like after qualifying? Answer that one. Randy says, I'm joining late. Sorry, is Reddick going to the rear? Not that I know of as of right now. Jalen says, Dinger or McDowell, last man in. I'd have to go with AJ Allmendinger. Just have a much safer floor there. And both guys could definitely like be lapped down. I mean, I'm not imagining Dinger is going to be some lead lap guy all day where he finishes 12th. But if he just finishes like 25th, I'll take it. Starting at 36 at that price point. Steve says, is Harvick pulling a lot of ownership? Yeah, I'm assuming he's going to be anywhere from 25 to 30% owned. It's just the ownership projections were really tough this week. I was struggling when I was running them because I do put my own tweaks on them. And I had like so many guys from 25 to 30% owned. So someone's going to give. I don't think the field's going to be that spread out, but that's the range I have him in as of right now. Should project well just about everywhere. I think I have him for... I have him around 55 points. I feel like most will probably have him around 50, 55. So, I mean, he'll get populated in lineups for sure. Cal says, or I mean Andy, out of Truex, Larson, Hamlin, Bell, Harvick, Byron, Logano, who are you fading? I'm not really fading any of those guys. I'm going to have a decent amount of all of them, to be honest. I'm just going to be really spread out. And I'll probably just be higher on the cheaper plays that I like. Like, I'll be very heavy on Almirola. I'll have a decent amount of Briscoe, Allmendinger. So I'm just going to be spread out up top, and then I'll just pick my battles with the cheaper guys, I guess. That's one way to do when there's a lot of good plays up top. But the lowest I'd be on is probably, out of that group, is probably Larson and Logano, but I do like both of them too. Brandon says, last week you called Hamlin for me on the checker. If you had to say it, who does it? Come on, Chris, I believe in you. Appreciate the encouragement. But, I mean, if you're betting, I have Truex to win, but I'm not betting that. If I was betting today, I'd probably do Hamlin and Harvick at the current odds. Hamlin, Harvick, maybe Byron. Those are the closest in leverage for me. So, now they're not my projected winners, but they're right there. Sam says, Harvick, Hamlin, Byron, Almirola, Jones, Cindric for a single entry GPP. I like that a lot. I think Hamlin and Byron are excellent tournament plays. And obviously Harvick as well. And then, yeah, I think that looks really good, Sam. I'll probably have something very similar as well. What's up, Clint? Says, happy race day. Who do you like 6,900 and under for GPP? I don't like any of that. I don't like any that aren't chalk. Oh, and go Harvick. I'm right there with you on Harvick this week, Clint. Need him to do well. Now, for GPPs, it just sucks because all these guys, the good ones are chalk. I mean, they're chalk for a reason. If I had to get different, I mean, Austin Dillon, maybe. We talked about that earlier where he just tends to run pretty well here at Richmond. Justin Haley, maybe. That's really about it. It's not pretty down there. Is Cindric all right in 1 to 4 lineups? Or in 1 out of 4 lineups? Yeah. I mean, that's 25%. I think that's somewhat where his ownership will be today, 25, 30% owned. So, yeah, I mean, you're kind of right with the field. One says, Chris, Larson or Truex if you had to put the house on it for the win? I mean, if I had to pick, Truex, but I'm not betting either. Cubby says, what pit stall did Dinger get? Well, he is dead last, so I don't even know where his pit stall is if I can find it from Bob. If I see the tweet, I'll tell you, but I don't remember where it's at. But it can't be pretty. Did he post it today? Oh, he did. Okay. So we got Dinger at... So he's right in front of Joey, and he's right behind Bubba Wallace. And he's like in that first section there. What's up, Maryi? Good afternoon, CP and chat. Let's crush it today. Let's do it. Hopefully all is well. Can't control Rex or anything, but hopefully the race plays out how we expect it to. Byron or Harvick today? That's tough. I mean, those are two of the best tournament plays on the slate, in my opinion. If I had to pick, I guess I'll say Harvick, but that's very close. Steve says, hey, Chris, Logano have a chance to win? Oh, he's got a chance. The chance I'm giving him is 2.4%. Vegas has him at 4.3, so I'm about half that, but I got him at a 2.5% chance to win, basically. Steve says, thoughts on Haley? Is he a good pivot in that price range? Yeah, he's a fine pivot. I'm going to go 100% on guys like Dinger or Eric Jones, so he'll just filter into some lineups for sure. Do we need a Dom for cash games? Yeah, you're going to need a Dom. So I'd play Christopher Bell in cash, but then I'd also get another big dog that can lead some laps as well. So that could be like a Truex, because he offers a little bit of place differential. It could be a Denny Hamlin, a Kyle Larson. I'm fine with any of them. What's up, Mo? Says just came in. Anyone to the rear? Just Dinger for now. Hopefully it stays that way. What's up, Sniper? Says good morning, y'all. Nice of you to finally wake up. Jeremy says Alex Bowman. Not really getting into too much Bowman. I know he doesn't have terrible numbers here at Richmond. It's just once you just run the numbers with where these guys are priced around, it's tough for him to populate lineups. I think he was optimal around 5 to 10% of the time, so that's really about all I can do. James says Denny Hamlin, Suarez, or MTJ. I think you mean Almirola for DK Cash. I'm assuming that's what you mean. I would probably say MTJ and Almirola. How do we feel about Elliott today? I just have a hard time seeing him be the best car on the track. Like, I think he can run top 10 today, top 8, but I mean, at his price point, 9,500 isn't terrible. I think my Sims have him just under 10% optimal, somewhere around there, so probably going to be underweight to the field a little bit. It says Austin Dillon this week, yo. Not the worst cheap play in the world. Spread says, let's go, my guys. What's up, Spread? DFS Chief says, tip, if your lineup looks too easy, it's not winning a GPP. Sometimes the chalk dunk lineup works, but you're going to be splitting. Good learn from Liker. Sorry, for some reason, it just, a certain amount won't pop up to the top. I don't know why, but I'm just now seeing it. It says, what are some cheap drivers and Doms to target? Cheap drivers, Allmendinger, Cindric, Jones. Those guys look good for cheap guys. And then as far as dominators are concerned, lots of them this week. Truex, Hamlin, Harvick. Those are some of the standouts. But I do appreciate the no-no. Suarez, Busch, or Almirola on DraftKings. I think I have Almirola as the highest there. No, I have Suarez by 2 points. Just edging out Almirola. But in the order there for me would be Suarez, Almirola, Buscher. Like Logano top 5 bounce back this week? Possible. I mean, he's very good here at Richmond. Top 5 is iffy, but it could happen. No problem, Juan. Shaquem says, thoughts on Dylan? Probably answered that. What's up, Mr. Penn? What's up, Mr. Sean? Or Mr. Preston, I should say. Hopefully all is well over there. Stan says, thoughts on Harvick? I like Harvick today. I mean, this is like the perfect track for him. Amazing in practice, considering he was in that slower group. Pretty much the fastest car. He ran something over on the track. I was like, of course. But I guess he was fine. But, I mean, this is like the perfect track for him. Richmond, he won here last year at this race. It's a short, flat track, which he crushes. It's a high tire wear track, which he also crushes. He is so good at managing his tires. So even if Harvick doesn't fire off fast today, and let's say like skids the 10th, just over the course of a long run, he's going to be one of those guys that's probably picking people off and maybe sneaking in fast laps throughout the race. So if we can get some long green flag runs, that's where Harvick will probably shine. Well, not probably, that's where he is going to shine. Just a matter of if we get him or not, which we should. Sean says, who's not going to wreck today? If anyone has the crystal ball that tells me who's not going to wreck today, I'd love to see it, because that would be so good to know. Unfortunately, I have no idea. Probably whoever's my highest owned driver will wreck out. So, happens a lot. Danny says, what is the difference between a cash build versus a tournament? I've only played tournaments. Thank you. I would stick to tournaments. I don't really like cash games anymore. I used to love cash games. I solely do tournaments now, but everyone loves me for cash games questions, so we answered them here. But if you're playing cash games, you're just trying to beat, like, what, 43% of the field or something like that, 44%. So you're not trying to shoot for first. Like, just beat close to 60% of the other dummies out there, and then you win the same amount of money as the guy finishing in first. So you don't have to try to take chances on low-owned plays. Like, there's no reason to be playing a Bubba Wallace in cash games starting in fifth. In tournaments, sure, if he finishes second, I mean, he's going to be, what, like 7% owned today or something like that. But in cash games, you just try to build a super safe floor with a lot of chalk, and then just try to beat half the field, basically, if that makes sense. Pope says, Bilicki isn't the hero we wanted, but the hero we needed. Yeah, we had Mr. Bilicki's number 1 fan here for some reason. We used to have BJ McLeod's number 1 fan. Somehow it shifted to Josh Bilicki. T-Bang Time says, dedication in the weekly Bilicki comments is awesome. Oh yeah, I appreciate the dedication for sure. It's not annoying, I just respect it at this point. K Sizzle says, anyone going to the rear? Just Dinger. Top GPP plays, I like Harvick, I like Byron, and I like Briscoe. I think Briscoe is interesting for tournaments. He is so slow at intermediates, but at the short flat tracks, that's pretty much the only place you can roster him, really. So I will be taking some stabs on Mr. Briscoe today on DraftKings and FanDuel. Thoughts on Kyle Busch? I'm going to be low on him. If he wants to dominate, whatever, I'll take the L, I guess. But he's starting in second. I think it's more likely Reddick dominates early, and then I think it's more likely that Denny Hamlin dominates. Just don't really love RCR at a track like this, so I will probably be passing and just hope he goes backwards. Alex Renee says, almost hit 30K last week in Pocono. First time watching it, good info. Appreciate that, Alex. Glad you were close. Hopefully you can just close the deal this time. Probably were a victim of a light wreck or not, something like that. But I do appreciate you coming back. Byron or Harvick for cash games? If it's cash games, I'd probably go with Harvick. It's close, though. Chase says, how many DOMs on DFS you think is necessary and how many PD plays? I've been at 2 DOMs, 4 PD. I'm not going to tell you like a set limit on PD plays because, I mean, you could roster someone at 16th. I'm not going to count that as really like a place differential play. But I think you need at least 2 DOMs for sure. 2 to 3 DOMs today is going to be the best route to go. Scotty says, let's go Alex Bowman win today. If Alex Bowman wins, I'd be very shocked. But maybe he could backdoor one because it seems like to be the only way he can win a race is if he backdoors it. Take on Ross today? That's like the first Ross Chastain question I've got. And I'm not really sure what to do with Ross, to be honest. Now, if you're looking at practice, he was in the slower group. I'm pretty sure, right? Ross in the slower group? I had to double check myself just in case. Yeah, he was in the slower group. So once you factor that in, his practice times really aren't that bad. It's kind of on par with Harvick, not too far off of Martin Truex Jr. So, I mean, I don't hate Ross in tournaments. He'll definitely be a lower owned compared to some of these other guys. So I don't think he's an awful play. And if I remember correctly, didn't he run pretty well at Richmond early in the year? I'm getting some of my short flat tracks mixed up. Richmond Racing Reference. Let's see where he finished. So I feel like this is the race where he started like 2nd or 4th, and then he just stole fast laps all day. Remember correctly? But I might be thinking of something else. Yeah, Ross started 4th, he finished 3rd, led 16 laps, and let me check the fast laps on that. Oh yeah, Barry and Buescher stole half the fast laps here. I remember that. They had, what, 83 combined? Yeah, Ross had 18 fast laps. Yeah, he's pretty decent. So I'm not getting my races confused. Nope, no one to the rear, Craig, just Dinger as of right now. Although if Bob announces something else, please let me know. Connor says, any top leverage plays for large GBPs can be risky, just looking for someone to go overlooked by the field. I mean, Ross will be a bit overlooked, but let me check my Sims, my top leverage. I mean, it's gross, but my top leverage plays in Sims right now are like Ross Chastain. Well, that's not gross, but the next one, Austin Cindric's pretty gross. Corey LaJoie, Blaney, Byron. Those are the guys that underweight according to my projections. What's up, Nick? Nice to see you here. Has been a while. I remember you stopping by. I think it was like last year, a couple years ago, but nice to have you back. Says, how about a hybrid approach with Reddick, Bell, and Hamlin? Thoughts and thank you. I think that's fine. I haven't really gotten many questions on Reddick today, so I'm just not sure if you guys are like off the train with him or not, which I get. It's risky starting him first, but I think you have to roster him a little bit. But I'm fine with that approach. I know you were a FanDuel guy. I don't know if you play DraftKings now or not, but I mean, yeah, Reddick and Hamlin could both be dominators, and you have Bell coming from the back, so it's totally fine. John says, thinking Bell, Almirola, Truex will be top 3 owned in GPP. I could see that happening. I think I have that as my projections, actually. Let me see. So I have the top 3 as Truex, Almirola, Dinger, although I could see Bell sneaking in over like a Dinger or Almirola. So you pretty much have the same thought process there. It'll be close. Again, ownership was kind of tough this week, so we'll see where it kind of comes out, but I think it'll be somewhat close. Darren says, DK Cash, Hamlin LaJoie, or Cindric and Willie B? Ugh. Probably. I want to say Hamlin LaJoie, but let me check my stuff. So I got Hamlin 1 point higher than Byron, so we'll call that a wash. Then LaJoie and Cindric. I have Cindric 5 points higher than LaJoie, so I guess I'd have to say LaJoie or Cindric and William Byron. Alex says, how do you view McDowell below? Have Cindric but can't see him winning me a tournament? Well, I'm not sure if Cindric's going to be the big deciding factor. He will have some ownership, so I understand that. McDowell below is just so ugly. I mean, Cindric and LaJoie are like the only ones I'd want to play. So if you don't like Cindric, I would say LaJoie. But it's pretty bad down there this week. Best cash pick under 6K, I would say Austin Cindric is probably the best cash pick under there. I think Scotty might be Alex Bowman's biggest fan. He's got that on a timer, I think. Anybody fail tech? I think we're all good. For now, anyway. Rick says, I'll be rooting for Chastain today. He probably won't win, but hoping for a top 10 Go Melon Man. Top 10 certainly on the cards. I mean, practice didn't look too bad, and he has had some speed at the shorter flat tracks this year, so definitely think top 10 is possible. Dustin says, hey Chris, I've been watching your predictions for the last 2 years, and the info always helps out. Tell buddies to follow the channel. My win percentage went up a whole lot listening to week. Well, that's awesome. I appreciate the kind words, Dustin, and hopefully they're doing well too. So thank you for tuning in all the time. Appreciate that. Doug says, Byron LaJoie or Blaney or Reddick Eric for cash games. Thank you. Ooh. Probably say Byron LaJoie there. I like Byron a little bit more than Reddick for sure. And then LaJoie's, the cheap guy's kind of a wash. I would probably say Byron LaJoie. Philly says, thoughts on Reddick from a non-DFS perspective, just in general? Well, I think Reddick's one of the most talented drivers in the field, like incredibly talented. I think we all know that. Like the guy is fast pretty much almost every week. It's just he's very inconsistent. Great at road courses, but he just has a lot of woes during races, whether it be penalties or hitting the wall because he's trying to get too much out of the car, spinning, or whatever it may be. But if he can just be more consistent and just have cleaner races, I mean, sky's the limit for Tyler Reddick. Dude has a ton of talent. DeMar says, Almirola, Busher, Byron, Harvick, Jones, Keselowski. I think that's a good tournament build. You got Byron and Harvick as your dominators, which I like. Kind of off the chalk a little bit. They're going to be owned, but off the mega chalk. The Jones, Keselowski, yeah, that's a pretty good lineup tomorrow. Very good for GPPs. Justin says, thoughts on this lineup? Bell, Hamlin, Truex, Cindric, Jones, Allmendinger. So we have Hamlin, Truex up top. Bell is your place differential guy. Yeah, I'm surprised that fits, but that looks pretty good. I do like that. Joseph says, top 5 actual finishers. My projection, sorry, I don't know why Oakley's barking. But my top 5 projected finishers, I have it as Truex, Hamlin, Harvick, Byron, and Larson today. Now, it's very close to a couple other guys. I have Busch up there, Elliott, and Reddick, but I think the top 5 is kind of cut and dry for most people, and the books would agree for the most part. Philly says fade Hamlin day. I don't know if it's a fade Hamlin day. Richmond's a pretty good place for him. So I'm not personally doing that. Plus, he looked good in practice considering how late he went out in Group 1. Dinger and Jones in tournaments. You can play them in tournaments, so they'll be very chalky, but I do like them. I'd rather get different with the guys up top than some of the cheap guys this week. Jobu says, hey Chris, hope all is good. I'm 5-star lids in your contest. Finally cashed again. Thanks for running them. Warning all, I'm taking a bunch about Denny Hamlin, Byron, and Almirola. Well, appreciate you being here, Joe, and playing on the contest. Wishing you the best. But I like those drivers too, so I'm right there with you. Michael says, wow, you beat me here today, Chris. Nice. Yeah. So it's rare for me to beat some of you. I'm always late, but do appreciate you stopping by. What do you think of Jones' low dollar option? Yeah, I like him. He's going to have some ownership today, but I mean, starting in 27, that's going to be hard for him to go backwards. Should be a top 25 contender, which is really all you need to get the job done. Maybe not optimal, but it won't kill you. Sean says, 85 likes. How many people in here? Hit that like button. Only the right thing to do. Yeah, if you guys could leave me a like, I would appreciate that. We got, oh wow, a lot more people than I thought. We have over 400 today. 125 likes. That's awesome. Appreciate y'all being here. Nick says, any Bowman exposure today? I know someone that's got some Alex Bowman exposure today for sure. But no, not me personally. I don't think I'm gonna play him much. I still have to build. We got lock at 3, so gonna have to build still. So I don't know exactly where I'm going, but I mean I have a good idea of where I'm gonna land. Newman starting 32nd at $6,000 is 15th in practice. No, practice is fake news. It's just, you can't look at practice like that. It's, if you're looking at a blind this week, it's not going to tell a story representative of what we're going to see in the race today. Group 1 was way faster because, I mean, if you think Newman and Yaley have more speed than Logano, Kyle Busch, those guys straight up, it's just not the case. So I will have 0% of Ryan Newman. Just make sure when you're looking at practice, you're factoring in what groups they were in, because I mean, if you were in Group 1, you were just incredibly faster. Because I'm looking at the lap by lap data, and I have it sorted by the averages, and literally every driver that was in the second group besides Harvick is below every other driver in the first group. So it is what it is. I don't like how the groups are staggered every week, but wish we could just get all the cars in the track. I don't know why it's so difficult, but it is what it is. LaJoy, I like him as a cheap play. I mean, besides Cindric in the 5K range, I'm not really sure who else you'd want to play. Got it done from a man spread. Says, just sitting in mom's massage chair thinking, should I play Blaney? I think you should play some Blaney. We got the shirt on today, so I feel like last time I wore the shirt, he did well. Oh, you know what? No, the last time I wore the shirt, he was running P2, and then he burned over the hose and killed his day. So hopefully that's not a omen of what will happen today. But I do appreciate the donut spreader. I will have some Blaney today for sure, especially on FanDuel. He's really cheap. But on DraftKings, he's fairly priced as well. Seems like you have to play Bell today. You don't have to, but I do like him a lot. I will have a large chunk of Bell, and especially on FanDuel where he's 12K. Like, he's the perfect play on FanDuel, on paper anyway. I'll never say anyone's a lock to do well. Like, it's NASCAR. You know, anything can happen. I think Bowman's going to become my least favorite driver here soon. But no, I am not really playing much Bowman today. Maybe a sprinkle. Like, he's not the worst play in the world. But the problem is he's priced right above Suarez and Buescher and Almirola and Briscoe. They offer more place differential with, I think, pretty similar finishing position upside. Ty Gibbs today. Again, starting position's tough. I'd rather play Bowman than Gibbs. I'd rather play Keselowski. So just tough to get the Gibbs starting in 7th. Stenhouse a good pivot, starting 9th at 6,500. Seemed fast yesterday. I mean, keep in mind he was in the... See, the thing is with Stenhouse, he was in the quicker group for practice. But if you're looking at the lap-by-lap data, he was still not that amazing. Like, he was below Yaley, LaJoy, Haley, Wallace. As far as speed is concerned, the first group, and then once you factor in the second group guys, like, I don't really think he's going to be incredibly fast. What's up, Tito? I'm sorry. I was going to change the thing to Truex. But I forgot. I do apologize for letting you down. But thank you for showing up still. What's up, Miss Jules? Nice of you to stop by. Glad you can make it. I know you're on your way to the gym, though, so have fun doing legs today. 6,100 last spot on DK, says Margie. I would probably say Cindric. Probably. Tim says, Austin Dillon or Dinger for GPP. Thank you, Chris. Man, if it's tournaments, I guess I'd have to say Dillon just because of the ownership concerns. But I'll tell you right now, projection-wise, says Allmendinger. DK Cash, Truex, Dinger, Jones, or Hamlin, LaJoy, Busher. Probably the first one for me. I'll take the Truex, Dinger, Jones route. And we'll go to the bag. Just Dinger as of right now, unless... check Twitter, or I guess check X. Keeps throwing me off. I keep opening, looking for the Twitter app on my phone. It's a big black X now, and I'm like, well, just keeps throwing me off. It's gonna take a while to get used to. What's up, Alex? Says, happy race day, boss. Hit me with some DK Cash Core. As always, best and thank you. Yeah, I mean, if you're playing Cash today, Bell, Allmendinger, Almirola, I think there's going to be some very popular plays for Cash today. What driver to pick for 8,300 left on my lineup? Probably Busher or Suarez there. It's either Busher, Suarez, Almirola. I don't know if you have any of them in your lineup, but I would pick one of those. Logano or Chastain. I'd personally take Logano. Just really like him at Richmond. Tends to do well here just about every single time. Gigi Haley's fine as a pump play if you need to make things work, but I mean, don't expect greatness. Just expect like a 30th place finish. But if you can fit your DOMs in, you nail your DOMs, it won't kill you. Do the Fords have a shot today? What do you think of an all-Ford lineup? Yeah, the Fords definitely have a shot today. Now, I don't go out of my way to play manufacturers, but I mean, an all-Ford lineup, you could have Harvick, Logano, Keselowski, Busher, Almirola, something like that. That wouldn't be too bad. How much is too much Bubba? Whew. I probably wouldn't have more than 10% Bubba today. Sam says Hamlin or Harvick on DraftKings. I like both a lot, but I do have Hamlin projected just a little bit higher. I think he's got a little bit easier path to dominating today. Bolding Nove says, before McLeod and Bilicki, we had the legend Brendan Gaughan. I do miss Brendan Gaughan so much. May he rest in peace. Every single Super Speedway, starting dead last, 36 to 37, just an autoplay every single time. And it seemed like it always worked out. Like, the guy was absolute money. I do miss him. Albert says, got a cash line up with Hamlin, Bell, Reddick, LaJoy, Dinger, Almirola. I'm up on the air about Reddick, if necessary. He would be a solid replacement. Yeah, I'm not the biggest fan of Reddick today for cash games, I don't think. It's just kind of tough to get there because I don't know how long he's going to hold the lead. So I'm probably not going that route for cash purposes. In my video, I was kind of saying I get it, it makes sense, but after I ran everything, he just wasn't popping as much as I thought. Because looking at the projections I gave him. So for Tyler Reddick today, I have him at 439.87 points. It's a 9.57 projected finish, which I think is respectable. And I gave him 45 laps led, like 25-30% of the fast laps on that, and then around 15 dominator points. It's not bad, but it's not amazing either. It's just when you're starting him first, there's just so much downside, especially with the wild card like Reddick. Like if Truex is on the pole, you can trust him. Like he'll be up there. He doesn't really make much mistakes. Kyle Larson, Denny Hamlin, those kind of guys. But Reddick's a wild card. If you were playing 150 max, what would your group for place differential at most? I wouldn't make a place differential group. I've never done that personally. I would only have a dominator group. I think place differential groups kind of getting too nitpicky, personally, because I just don't know if there's like a set strategy you'd want to have a certain amount of place differential drivers, because I don't know what it is. So I'm not going to tell you to do anything with that. You can if you want personally, but I don't think I'd have a group for PD. Almirola thoughts? I love Almirola today. I mean, this is a great kind of track for him. Short, flat track, great in practice. I know he's in the quicker group, but I mean, he was still fast. So I do like Almirola a lot today. Larson or Harvick? That's tough. I have Larson 1.7 points higher than Harvick. So I mean, I guess I'd say Larson, but it's very close. Hamlin or Harvick on DraftKings and GPP, big and small pair with Truex. If I have Truex, I think I'll take Hamlin because I think the 3 and 10 starting positions looks a little bit nicer, at least a little bit nicer on the eyes. Chase says Buescher, Suarez, Almirola. What's your order? I believe it's Suarez, Almirola, Buescher, but I do like Eric a lot today. I think there's a lot of room for upside with him. Take on Suarez, just a place differential play. I think he's probably going to finish around 15th to 20th. I have him projected at, I give him a 20th place finish. So I think that's pretty conservative. That's still just under like 40 points. So, and if you guys want to look at all the stuff I'm referencing, you can get a free week on Patreon for all the projections and stuff and whatnot. Completely free. I think it's in the link in the description of this live stream. If you just want to hit that, should take you there, and you can sign up completely free for a week. Get access to all that fun stuff in the Discord, which is always a fun time in there. You never know what you're gonna get. So check it out if you would like. Alex says, hey Chris, what's your thoughts on Stenhouse tourney play? Really tough path for Stenhouse to work out. I don't really like it. I think my Sims have him at 0.1% chance optimal. So if he's optimal today, whatever. I take the L there, but I'm not doing it. Just a really tough path there. James says, thanks, Chris. You're the man. Enjoy pickleball today. Thank you, James. I certainly will. We've been practicing. The rules can get a little bit tricky, but you get them after a while. Alex Bowman or Chase Elliott? I mean, pricing aside, I'll take Chase Elliott all day on that. A lot more dominator upside. Gizball says Keselowski, Almirola, Suarez, or Buescher. I think my order is Suarez, Almirola, Buescher, Keselowski as far as projections are concerned. Yeah, you were right, Andre. I think. Yeah. Sorry, I lost my spot. Happens a lot. Oh, okay. What do you think of Harvick or Larson? I mean, I like both. Larson won this race last time we were here in the spring. And then Harvick won this race last year in this race. So, I mean, both definitely look pretty good to me. I mean, no matter what the practice speeds are for Larson, that 5 team just always gets the car dialed in at some point during the race. So, I'm sure he'll be a top 5 contender with the opportunity to be up front to dominate. And then Harvick, just like a perfect track setup for him. Super fast in practice. So, yeah, I like both a lot. So would you take Ross over Blaney or even Elliott? My projections like Blaney more, so I'd probably have that Blaney, Chastain, and Elliott in that order. Let's get a few extra spots with Blaney in the starting position. Thoughts on Suarez? Bad qualifying lap, starting in the back, and cheap. Place differential play? Yeah, definitely place differential play. He does not have to do much to not kill you. You know, if he finishes 20th, we're talking just under 40 points. And Suarez definitely has top 15 upside every week, no matter where we are. So, yeah, I do like him. Iron says, the only thing that scares me on Hamlin is, does someone play his game and force him into the wall late? I mean, it's possible. I mean, we're not going to see the high speeds like we do at Pocono here at Richmond, but I mean, we've gone through that last year with Ross Chastain and Denny, and just like people always want to say fade certain drivers because of stuff happening on the track, but I can't play that game because if it doesn't happen, I'm not missing out on a guy based on a theory. You know what I mean? So if it happens, it happens. There's nothing you can do about it, but I'm not going to play with that in my mind personally. It's just something out of our control. So I don't want to miss out on a good play because of the potential of something happening to him, because we can't play on these human emotions, you know. It's just unfortunate. So it's just going to have to be something you hope doesn't happen, or something you hope does happen, depending on which side you're on. Anthony says, thoughts on Keselowski? Low on tournament play. I think this is a pretty good track for him. Short, flat track, high tire wear, something he's pretty good at managing. Just the problem is he's in a weird starting spot with where the other guys are priced around him. So it's kind of been tougher to get to him, I've noticed. Jay Swift says, Busch under radar or high owned? He'll be pretty chalky. I think he'll be over 20% today. So I don't think he'll be under the radar, especially since he had good practice. SS Jackson says, Reddick's my guy, but I don't trust his pit crew to keep him up front. I see him finishing mid-teens. Love the show. Appreciate that, SS. I mean, he's got the best pit stall, but yeah, I feel like he always has some random issues on pit road, and he definitely doesn't have the fastest crew. So we'll see how it plays out. Yeah, we'll see. Cliff says, who's your highest projected driver under $7,400? Have Hamlin, Harvick, Elliott, Briscoe, and LaJoy. Highest projected under $7,400 would be Almirola. Do you already have Almirola? I forget. You don't. So yeah, I would say Eric there. Any Burton today? Not really. Not going my way to play Burton anyway. If the optimizer wants to spin him out a couple of times, sure. Geb says, thoughts on this rainbow line? Bell, Logano, Reddick, Buescher, Almirola, Dinger. All right, so we got Reddick and then a bunch of PD. I'll be honest, Geb, I'm not the biggest fan of it. I mean, I like the drivers. It's just you need Reddick to dominate for a while until like Bell and Logano have the chance to get up there. You know what I mean? Because I don't think Reddick's going to hold off guys like Hamlin or Byron or Harvick after too long. And then if Bell and Logano don't get close to the front, you'll be kind of screwed if Reddick doesn't dominate a ton. So I'm not like the biggest fan of that one. If I'm going to play Reddick, I feel like I want to get someone else that can dominate early on as well. I mean, I like the drivers overall, though. I don't know why. It just doesn't look that great together for some reason. Yaley, sneaky cheap play. I mean, he'll be low owned. We don't expect much, though. I got him finishing around 31st, I think. 30th or 31st. Larson or Harvick. I think Larson barely out-projecting Harvick. Top two players starting 20s and lower. Bell and Logano. Place differential-wise, yeah. Salary aside. Reddick or Keselowski. Reddick has more of a ceiling, so I'd probably say Reddick there. Gerald says Briscoe, Byron, Elliott, Bell, Almirola. Is that a FanDuel lineup? They only see 5, so I think it is, but I think that's fine for FanDuel. Thoughts on Stenhouse? He's just starting too far up for me. More than likely going to move back, and he's priced right around some place differential guys, which is going to make it pretty tough to get there. Deshaun says, would you pay up for Bell? I certainly would. I think Bell's a great play today. Great at short flats, great at Richmond, and without the place differential, it's just hard not to like him. Man, I am so far behind in chat. And we got, let me make sure when FanDuel lock is it, because if it's at 2:30, I'm going to have to hightail out of here, but I'm pretty sure it's 3. Okay, it's 3. We're good. For some reason, they have it as the Federated Auto Parts 400. I thought I had the wrong sponsor on the show here, but pretty sure it's Cookout. Is Larson going to drive through the field only to prove he's a man? Going to drive through the field and try to prove he's a man and wreck today? Oh, you mean from the Denny Hamlin thing? I mean, he'll probably drive through the field. I'm not sure if he's going to wreck someone, though. Larson is a pretty nice guy, except when he wrecked Justin Haley at the Coliseum last year. Can Haley get some good PD points? He could. I'm not sure he's going to be a speed demon, though. What's up, Jay Smokes? Good luck this week. Should I focus on place differential or track position? I think a mixture of both is fine. I wouldn't focus specifically on one because there's a good mixture of both in this field today. So I would balance that out. Thoughts on Larson wrecking Hamlin? Hope it doesn't happen. I don't know. I like Denny. I'm hoping they don't wreck each other. Two of the better drivers in the entire field. So, late to the party. Anything good on Price Picks? First Price Picks question. There was some stuff I like. The line moved, I think, a little bit on a couple of these guys. I do like the Denny over at 56.5. Bush was at 47.5. I like the under there, and he's now at 43.5. I'd like the Byron over 45.5, but he's now at 47. What else we got? I think that's about it. I think Joey over 48.5 is somewhat interesting as well. But the lines did move a little. You got definitely had the bumps. Hello, Drew. Iron says Newman been trashed in every race he's entered. I mean, he's in a junk car, and for some reason the books always price him like he's not an absolute junker every single week. Like, I think when he opened, he was the same odds as Ryan Preece this week. Like, what sense does that make? Drew says, what's your biggest payout on DraftKings for NASCAR? Well, I won the lug nut a lot. The chrome horn was my best, which is the $4 20 max, like 20K to first. That was my best one. You have a few underdog plays for us? I do. As long as they didn't move. Okay, so I liked, where's it at? So I like Briscoe. Oh, okay, well, it moved. I had Briscoe finishing better than 18.5. That's now at 16.5. I liked Elliott better than 10.5. That's now at 9.5. Sorry, I mean, the line's moved. There's nothing I can do about it. I liked Harvick better than 5.5. I think he does get a top 5 today. Then I like Denny better than 5.5 as well. So those are the ones I liked, although a few of them did get bumped. Jesse says, 3 bets on my card. What do you think? Larson outright at plus 850, Byron outright at plus 750, and Chevrolet winning manufacturer at plus 170. Thoughts? I mean, personally, in my model, that does not show value, but I'm not saying my model is the end-all, be-all, so I'm not gonna shame you or anything. It's just that doesn't have value for me, but I mean, it could certainly work. I mean, probably gonna be 2 of the best cars on the track, so I mean, I definitely don't fault you for doing it. Chandler says, top 2. All right, so that one. Sean says, Chris, are you doing NFL content this coming year? Yes, I am. We did get DK salaries already for week 1, so I'll probably do an early look video just to get that out there. But I will be doing NFL content. No live streams, but like maybe 1 or 2 videos a week. Prize picks. And, you know, just going over the slate pretty much. Kind of like what we do for NASCAR. But no live streams. Gizball says, LaJoy and Cindric or Yaley and Dinger. Probably take LaJoy and Cindric there. You like Suarez over Busher? Projection-wise, yes, but that really is a coin flip. Sean says, hey CP, Harvick, Byron, Elliott, Reddick, and Gibbs on FanDuel. Thank you for the info. It can work. Very, very heavy on the guy starting in the top 10, though. I think you might want a little bit more place differential mixed in. Especially since dominator points don't really matter over there. Got about 450 on the concurrent. That's awesome. We're at 163 likes. So if we can get close to 200 by the time I get out of here, that'd be awesome. Got a 2v2 question. Almirola and LaJoy or Suarez and Ty Dillon. Probably gotta go the first one there, Ross. I don't feel comfortable telling you I want to play Ty Dillon. You're welcome, Connor. I got LaJoy, Cindric in one lineup. Could Keselowski work out, or is he just a bot? No, he could work out, but you need him to finish top 8 with some fast laps, which the path to optimal for him is tough, but it's possible. Appreciate you as well, Margie. Thank you for the content. You're the GOAT, bud. Well, thank you for being here. I don't have any shows if you guys don't show up, so you guys are equally as awesome. Paper says, Bell, Suarez, or Blaney Chastain? Probably Bell, Suarez. Rank in order, Cindric, LaJoy, Jones. That would be Jones, Cindric, LaJoy for me, Danny. What's up, Choke Hold'em? Any groups this weekend? Your Doms, if you haven't already. I'm late. Much love. The only thing I would have is a Dom group, and that would be Reddick and above. And I set that to at least 2 in salary. Logano or Elliott? I would have more Logano. Sean says, Mr. Penn, what is the weather supposed to be at start? Pretty sure it's good. I don't think there's any chance for rain today, so we'll be sitting pretty on that, I think. I can check, though. There was a chance of rain last night at Richmond, but I don't think it ever did. Richmond weather. Yesterday it was hot. It was like, I think the track temp was 133 degrees, they said. But it looks like 85 and sunny today in Richmond and like a 0% chance of rain, so we're good. Speaking of rain, I just got a rain alert for lightning on my phone. How do you feel about Blaney top 10 at plus money? Thank you, Chris. Let me see what I have him at. I mean, I have Blaney today at a 13.79 projected finish. That's not inside the top 10. I mean, he can certainly get a top 10, but I don't think I'd bet it. Last question says Doug, Hamlin, Harvick, or Truex Byron for cash games? I'd probably get Truex in for cash. I think he'll be very chalky today. What's up, Nick? I feel like I haven't seen you in a long time. Says place differential lineup would have to have Larson, Hamlin, Truex, and Calamity, Bell, Logano, Busch, Almirola, Allmendinger, and Larson. I mean, I think that definitely makes sense. If you're playing place differential, you have to have guys that can dominate early on, pretty much. Unless they wreck out after they dominate, then yeah, I guess it'd be all place differential, but it's an unlikely scenario. Do you think Larson gets Hamlin back today? I'm fully fading Hamlin right now. I don't know. I'm not inside Kyle Larson's head. I can't play that way. If it happens, it happens, but I can't bet on human emotion. I don't know how people are going to feel. So, fortunately, I cannot do that. Albert, I mean, because if you're doing that and you miss out on Hamlin leading 200 laps today and winning, and Larson never gets to Denny, it's like, well, you know, it's just not worth it, in my opinion, to worry about that stuff. Albert says, had 10.4 after removing Reddick from cash lineup. Does Logano sound good as a pivot? Yeah, I mean, he feels safer than Reddick. I'm going to feel bad if Reddick leads 200 laps, but I don't think that's going to happen. No problem, Albert. What's your thoughts on McDowell today? I got him projected for like 15-ish points. It's not great. Cal says, I can vouch for the Discord. It is awesome. Other than Tito's, he's a legit bot. Well, sorry, I should probably turn my phone off. Tito is a character, that's for sure. But we love our Tito. Hot track, hot tires. It's not as hot as yesterday, that's for sure. GG says, just woke up and I say to myself, he's still alive. Not quite. We've got another hour till the race to start. Spread says, Josh Berry was second. I guess it was fuel mileage or tire strategy. Need to rewatch after this. If I remember correctly, Josh Berry, I know he stayed out, right, with Larson? Or something. Something happened. I forget what it was. But he got a ton of fast laps at the end because he was off strategy a bit and then just worked out where he was in the front row in the restart. Then him and Kyle Larson retained their spots. But Berry had like almost 100 points that race because he started around 30th, I think. Then he had 40 fast laps, then finished second. I mean, he killed it. Cash Core, probably Bell, AA. Spread said it. Scott says for cash, Hamlin, Bell, Jones, Blaney, AJ, Allmendinger, and Almirola. That can work. I don't have a problem with that. Sorry, missed my spot. Best value plays, I would say Jones, Dinger, Cindric probably down low. Yeah, Bubba's pit crew. I mean, kind of both the 2311 cars. I mean, it's always, you never know what you're going to get when they go down pit road. It could be anything. Same with Christopher Bell and Ryan Blaney. I mean, whenever it's time to pit, you just kind of hold your breath when they go down because it's always going to be a disaster pretty much. S'mores now in one small lineup. I like that. There's no competition caution today as far as I know. How many Dominators and how many PD for group? I would have at least 2 Doms, but I don't know about a PD group. That's not something I'm doing. Last minute for me would be Cindric over McDowell. No Gregson. Danny says, CP, I'm going to need you to get into the NFL. Come on, man, we need you. Well, I'm going to do NFL content. I'm just not going to be doing live streams for it. Just no live streams. Buescher has 15 straight top 18 finishes. Oh, that's pretty good. I guess I didn't really realize that, but Buescher is like as solid as it comes. Like, I just always tends to be like battling around the top 15. Is Bell a must play? Oh yeah, gotcha. My yard mowing favorite show is back. I'm glad I can make your mowing a better experience. Can get pretty boring just going in straight line after a while, looking at some green grass. Bell, Blaney, or Logano. I would say Bell. The price doesn't matter there. Truex over Hamlin for me. I do have Truex projected higher than Hamlin, so I'm with you there. Priest, Austin Dillon, or Briscoe. I would go with Briscoe. Get the most PD there. The place is really good at short flats. Max says, I'm torn for a last man in from a single into GPP. Jones or Dinger? Thank you, Chris. No problem, Max. I would probably go Dinger there. Similar finishing position upside, but you get the extra spots with Dinger. Justin Haley is the guy you play after you think you've had enough Cindric and Jones, Dinger. Once you feel like you've had enough of them, that's when you start throwing in Justin Haley a little bit. I don't think Reddick's going to the back unless I missed something on Twitter. I know I mentioned it in my video, but I think they're holding steady there. Checking X here to see if there's any updates. Sub J Noom says, sorry Chris, just joining. Who do you think wins today? Well, I have Truex and Hamlin as the top two. I have bets on Bell and Harvick though. Hamlin, Truex, Wallace, Gibbs, and Blaney on FanDuel. What are your thoughts? It's contrarian with Wallace and Gibbs. I don't love them for DFS today though. Coach says, Snipers playing with matches in Discord. That's concerning. I mean, I almost believe you. I don't know if you're trying to get me out of here or not, though. Thanks for all you do, Chris. Never watched your football stuff. Can't wait to check it out. YouTube? Yeah, I'll be on YouTube. Although, no live streams. It's just me going over the slate for like 10 to 20 minutes. That's really about it. Try to keep it simple as possible. Going over the slate, looking at some of the optimals and things like that. Mundo says, Bill says no live streams. No live streams. Any Gilly Gang? No Gilly Gang from me. Single entry, do I like Hamlin, Truex, Bell, Almirola, Yaley, Dinger? Yaley, you're pushing it, but I do think it's fine. Sean says, way hot, I'm near Richmond. Yeah, you guys definitely had you guys were getting killed yesterday. Projected finish for Stenhouse, I have him at 20.7. Maybe I'm being mean to Stenhouse, but that's what he graded out. I mean, I don't just punch in the numbers. It's just whatever the number comes out is what I do. So that's where I have him. Maybe I'm too low, but Doms for cash games, Truex and Bell are probably the most popular options. Any picks on Underdog? Went over that one. But most of the lines moved on Underdog. I wouldn't recommend what they're at now. Best three for DraftKings large GPP plays. I like Briscoe in tournaments. I like Logano, Denny Hamlin, Harvick. I think those are some good tournament plays over there. What's up, Jared? Says, I'm so late. Are you high on Toyota or Ford today? Mixture of both. I don't really have a big preference on either. Daniel Suarez says, great channel. Appreciate that, Daniel. I need you to race pretty well today, though. I'm going to have a decent amount of you. So we have to ask you to get off the YouTube chat and get in the car and get to work. Any left for Gillen or Gregson? No, thank you. 6,600 and under. Last man in for large field GPP. My projections like Dinger the most. I know he's going to be chalky, but that's what I like. Christian says, Chris, how many laps does Tyler Reddick need to be optimal material? It's dependent on what other guys do. Like, there's not just a single factor for that. But I would say if he can lead like 60, 70 plus laps, but it depends where he finishes though. Like if he leads 60 laps but finishes 12, I don't know if that's going to be enough. Especially depends on how many fast laps he gets as well. Who's crashing today? I don't know. I'd love to know. Fortunately, we don't. Usually, Almirola and Wallace always tend to be safe bets for that. Enjoy, Sean. Thank you for being here. No problem, Rick. Good luck, everyone. Catch you in Discord. I'll certainly be there, and I got to get a move in my lineups. I got a half hour to build. Although I like building late because then I don't have time to tinker. It's like I'm getting done at 2:58. I'm pressing go. I can't change. We just got to go with what I got. Larson spinning Denny. I don't know. Larson's a nice guy. I'm not sure if he's going to do it. Maybe, but Andre says 16 more likes. Let's get it. Oh yeah, if we can get 200 before I get out of here, that'd be sweet. We're at 190, so we'll need 10 more. Hopefully I can get out of there. DFSs, all this Larson Denny talk making me want to play Denny. I still think Denny's going to be owned a decent amount. We'll see though. Kadis says, Jones has horrid history here and was slow in practice. What do you like about him? Just the simple fact he's starting 27th. I mean, he can have the worst history in the world as he wants, but if he's going to be this cheap and starting that far back, I mean, he doesn't have to be great. I don't really need much. Also, and honestly, Eric Jones in practice, I mean, he wasn't slow. He was, keep in mind, he was in the quick group, but he was top 5 in the lap by lap average. So I'm not sure where we're getting the slow thing from. Gilly for a milli? I don't think so. Dwayne says, I think Bubba races conservative here and makes playoffs on points. Maybe. I don't know. I don't like him for DFS though. Johnny says, last one in, Reddick, Chastain, or Blaney. I would probably have to say Blaney there. Feels gross. Those are 3 big wild cards right there. Reddick, Chastain, and Blaney. Really 3 tough to trust guys. Thoughts on Brad Keselowski tournaments? I think it's okay. Starting in 13th, he could sneak in the top 8. Sergey says, just got here, who are your top plays? I would probably say Bell, Amarola, Dinger, Truex, Hamlin, Harvick. Building around those kind of guys today. Briscoe I like. Yeah, I'm probably fading Busch today, Jim. If he wants to dominate, whatever, I'll take the L, but I can't play everybody, so he's going to have to be one of the guys that gets the cut. McDowell's a pivot for Dylan. I was kind of just liking Dylan as a pivot off some of the other guys. I don't think Dylan's going to be that chalky. And Cindric, Jones, Dinger, Bell, Hamlin, Truex, chalky. Yeah, that's very chalky. Yeah, that's really chalky. So if you're afraid of the ownership, I would definitely try to pivot a couple spots. And I caught up to the chat. Thoughts on Austin Dillon? He's good at Richmond, good at tire wear, but I don't know. I mean, maybe like 10%. Dillon's fine today, but I wouldn't go on my way to play a ton of him. All right, we got over 200 likes. That's awesome. I appreciate that. Still over 400 here. If there's any last second questions, I will take it, but I think we kind of covered everything. I do appreciate everyone being here. I have no idea where we're at next week. Hopefully it's somewhere good. Indy Road Course has to be coming up, doesn't it? Is that next week? I hope not. I hate that place so much. Oh, we're at Michigan next week. Okay, Michigan, then Indy, then Watkins Glen. 2 road courses in a row. It's kind of gross. But Michigan should be fun. Then we get the disastrous of Indy. You know, problem, Clint. 20% good on Larson and Reddick. I feel like I'd maybe want a little bit more on Larson. I know you'd have to take somebody else out, but Bowman or Reddick? I'll take Reddick just because he has the higher ceiling in case he leads a lot of laps today. Same goes for their thoughts on Reddick for GPP. Like, I mean, if he can dominate stage 1 and just hang around the top 6 today, like, yeah, that's going to be great. But it's definitely an if. All right, let's do it, Mundos. Appreciate you being here. Bell, Harvick, Byron, Allmendinger, Reddick for FanDuel. Yeah, that can work. It can work. Jay says, what's up, Chris? So with the track that has so many lap drivers by the end of the race, do you really think we can trust a lot of the place differential? Well, it depends. Like, if you're rostering a AJ Allmendinger at $6,200, I don't care if he's on the lead lap or not. He can be a lap down, but as long as he's like 26th or 25th with some of the other lap drivers, that's fine, you know. It's not like he'll be like the only one a lap down, so I'm not too concerned about it. Now, I'd be concerned if Bell was a lap down. That's different. I'd be concerned if a Blaney was a lap down or Joey Logano, you know. So it depends on like the price point. Because I'm fine with rostering cheap drivers that are lap down. It doesn't matter. Appreciate that, Steve. Says best NASCAR information in the business. Thank you for being here. Kyle Busch better or worse than 7.5? You're like towing the line there. I mean, I guess I'd say worse, but I don't feel comfortable about it. All right. I think that's it. 2:30, hour and a half on the show. Appreciate y'all being here. I got to build lineup still, so I don't want to be late on that. But looking forward to next week in Michigan. Probably save time for the live stream, assuming it's at 3 o'clock. Wish y'all the best, and go Harvick. I hope he wins.